Solano Community College District Governing Board meeting of November 6th, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
President Honeychurch,
Here.
Trustee Cargo Reed,
Here.
Trustee Kara,
Here.
Trustee Lopez Laura,
Here.
Trustee Thurston,
Here.
Trustee Young, Trustee Boyce,
Aye, here.
Student Trustee Srini Vasan. Someone's coming.
Thank you. The next item is approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections or changes?
Yes, there is a correction for item 12L. The item should read Resolution Number 24 of 2508, proclaiming November 2024 as Native American Heritage Month at Solano Community College.
Thank you. With that
I'll make the motion
correction,
to
is there a motion?
approve as amended.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Are there any requests to speak to, on closed session? No? Okay. So this time we'll recess our meeting and then reconvene at 7 o'clock while we do our closed session. Thank you.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers, we have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, you know, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great, successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth.
I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
we commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
reconvene the regular meeting and report of action in closed session. There was no action taken in closed session. And now we invite members from the public to speak if there are any requests. And there are none. So next item is the consent calendar. And all matters, as you know, are listed under the consent calendar, are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There's no discussion on these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed or removed. And we have heard no such requests. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. There are no items removed. We're on to item 12, which is non-consent agenda items, action items. The first of which is an agreement with USC Race and Equity Center for Membership, presented by Dr. Kelly Butler.
Thank you. I am requesting approval of the California Community College Racial and Equity Leadership Alliance, an initiative run out of USC's Race and Equity Center. This initiative allows colleges to join research and surveys of campus climate and provides the data and findings back to the college to assist with meeting the college's equity goals, identifying opportunities to grow and expand efforts, and to foster the college's inclusion and belonging efforts. We've participated in this work under previous superintendents, and we want to continue this work. So I'm requesting approval of this item.
Are there any questions? Is there a motion to approve it?
I move that we approve item 12A.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. So does USC mean University of Southern California?
University of Southern California. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not trusted by us who went to UCLA. But I'll be joining you in voting aye.
Thank you.
So all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Next item is a resignation to retire presented by Sal Abate.
Thank you, President Honeychurch, members of the board. We do have retirement on the agenda this evening. I believe VP Lofton is going to be speaking on this, and then we do have a member from our Local 39 bargaining unit that would also like to speak. So at this time, VP Lofton, if you're on, go ahead.
Thank you, Sal. First, I'll read what our department wrote about Rich. They stated the following. Today, we celebrate and honor Rich Cross for 17 years of dedicated service to the Solano Community College District. Over the years, Rich has been an integral part of keeping our campus safe, functional, and vibrant. Whether it was ensuring the lights stayed on, troubleshooting electrical issues, or working behind the scenes to make sure everything ran smoothly, Rich always went above and beyond. With skill, reliability, and a great attitude, Rich built a reputation as someone who could be counted on no matter the challenge. Mr. Cross, your contributions have made a lasting impact on our college community, and you will be missed by all of us. On behalf of everyone here, we thank you for your years of hard work and dedication and commitment. We wish you all the best in your well-earned retirement. May it be filled with happiness, relaxation, and new adventures. And I would personally add, I've known Rich now for quite a long time. I would personally add that Rich is a rare find for an in-house maintenance department. He is a true journeyman electrician. He's a unicorn in our world. He was integral to every building project that we've built since I've been here. He's consulted on every building design. He's represented the district on every building project. He has been an incredible resource for every building project. More than that, more than just our expert electrician, Rich is a true leader. His presence, his kindness, his knowledge, his calm under pressure. He's beyond rare. I really have no words to describe how exceptional Rich is in every way. As a person, as an employee, as an expert journeyman. It is very rare that I use this word for somebody I've worked with, but Rich is irreplaceable. He will be missed more than anyone knows. Thank you, Rich.
All right. We also have Jeff Layfeld, who is our Chief Union Steward in Local 39. I know he wanted to say a few words as well.
Thank you. President of the Board, Dennis Honey Church, President of the College, Kelly Butler, members of the Board, I am happy to be in front of you addressing you on behalf of my friend, Rich Cross. Number one, he is a true tradesman. He is not only conquered, mastered, taught 6 decades of technology for this campus, starting in Vallejo when he was an apprenticeship. I could go on and on about what he's done in his job. The character that I want to express today is about someone who joyously participates in everything and every opportunity we have to do, with work, with negotiations, with stewardship. He has a contagious calm. When some of our stewards and myself get spun out in closed session, he would bring us back to focus with simple, calm, pointed, decisive directives. Why are we here? What are we doing? I have several stories. I'm only allowed to share 2. I've been told. The first one happened last month. And there are many people in maintenance, but there are a few that are willing to do whatever is necessary. And Rich and I have been going to lunch for a long time, and we jokingly say we save the world at every lunch, and so you guys are welcome. We saved it today too. And we had a shift that started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it ended at 3 a.m. And it's not uncommon to have contractors or shutdowns or electrical, or he was even present during gas lines, as some may remember, willing to go that extra distance, joyously, not complain about it. What can we do? What needs to be done? What's the next step? What are the problems we encountered? With a smile and a great attitude. Saying that, I would say it's probably about 7 or 8 years ago, when we still had the use it or lose it days. And I got a call from a scout camp that had a welding program, and they lost their welding leads and didn't have them. And it was the end of the fiscal. And I said, Rich, can we go up and do something? Yeah, sure. And that was a long trip. It was more than 100 miles from the parts that we needed. It was more than a 24-hour day with travel time. And they got to start their program on time. Now, that didn't benefit him. That was an act of selfless service. He does things without ego that I admire, that I aspire, that I am proud to call him a friend, a colleague, a trusted leader. He exemplifies everything that I can see and have read about leadership and trust. And he does it without ego. So with that, my friend, I am happy to acknowledge your 17 years, and I'm happy that you get to retire. Thank you for your time.
I started my apprenticeship in 1968. Solano College was the academic instructors of all of the apprentice programs. That's something we need to get back to, because we don't have talented journeyman tradesmen. And I wish we could get that going again, because, you know, we're starting to. We've got a welding program that's outstanding. Karen, with her makerspace, showed me how to do 3D printing. And the programs are growing, but we need, because that's what's here, and we need to produce the students that can take the jobs. My friend Marie was well, I was going to say the first math instructor, but she aided with us in the apprentice program because we needed some math instruction. So that's a program I'd like to see going again because it really, well, it helped me to be the electrician that I am. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for those remarks. And is there a motion from the board to approve the retirement?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right. All those in favor of approving the retirement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thanks for all your work all these years. Good to see you.
Very much.
So with that, we're going to move on to change orders. And I'm calling Quentin
Yeah. I'll happy to.
to facilitate
Sure.
this motion.
I don't know how this became my unofficial duty, but I'm happy to. Many of these change orders are simply extensions in time, and so most have no cost, some have very low cost. So I will make a large motion to open all of these for discussion. So I'll make a motion to approve item 12C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Second.
So are there any questions on any of these routine change orders? I hear none. Karima from?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So all those in favor of the motion to approve the items listed by trustee Voice, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Brings us to Vice President David Williams presenting on academic affairs, a request for approval of curriculum. Catch up with me.
You're moving so swiftly tonight. So President Honeychurch, Superintendent President Dr. Butler, members of the board, tonight we are submitting an update to the work of the curriculum committee so far this fall. You'll notice a number of items. I will be talking later tonight about common course numbering and Cal GETSI, so we'll hear a little bit more about that later. I told VP Neely I would discuss each curriculum item individually, but she discouraged me from doing that, so I will just leave it at the curriculum committee has been very busy, and we're asking for your approval.
All right, curriculum committee.
I'll second. Thank you, VP Neely.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions on the curriculum? Apparently not. All those in favor then please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion J is approved. We're on to K, which is a clinical experience agreement for certified nursing assistant home health aide with Hartwood Avenue Healthcare and Solano Community College. So David Williams is the presenter on this as well.
Yes, thank you very much. This is one of the renewals that you see fairly regularly at the board meetings. This, again, as President Honeychurch said, is a clinical opportunity for students in our certified nursing assistant and home health care program.
All right. Any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the clinical experience agreement?
Make a motion to approve. Is it 12K here? Second.
It's just moved and seconded to approve item K, which is the clinical experience agreement. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is, is item L, which is presented by Vice President Lisa Neely, and it's a resolution proclaiming November as Native American Heritage Month at Solano Community College. So Vice President Neely.
Good evening. Thank you, President Honeychurch and members of the board. So this is a resolution as per our regular calendar of recognizing and honoring various heritage months. So we're asking for the approval of this resolution celebrating 2024 November as a Native American Heritage Month. and I would be happy to read if that is so desired. Thank you. Okay. Whereas Solano Community College is located on the sacred lands of the Patwin people who have contributed to the stewardship and sustainability of the land for thousands of years, and whereas today there are 3 federally recognized Patwin tribes, Kachildihi Band of Wintoon Indians of the Calusa Indian Community, Quetzaldihi Band of Wintoon Indians, and the Yokadihi Wintoon Nation. And whereas the state of California is home to nearly 200 Native American tribes and indigenous peoples remain actively engaged in cultural revitalization, resource protection, and self-determination within every region of California. And whereas indigenous communities, their governments, and members have thrived and made significant contributions to the nation in various roles such as educators, scholars, artists, business leaders, and elected officials, among others. And whereas our district recognizes and greatly appreciates the contributions and efforts of our students, faculty, classified professionals, and administrators of Native American heritage who have consistently enriched our colleges and wider community with their expertise, passion, and dedication. And whereas in 1990, President George Bush approved a joint resolution designating November as National American Indian Heritage Month, and whereas Native American Heritage Month celebrates and recognizes the indigenous peoples who were the original inhabitants, explorers, and settlers of what is now the United States, and whereas the 2024 Native American Heritage Month theme is Confronting Challenges, Forging New Pathways, and whereas Native American Heritage Month provides an opportunity to educate all members of the community about the invaluable contributions Native Americans have made, as well as the ongoing inequities they face, including issues related to land and water rights, cultural preservation, and social justice. And whereas Solano Community College acknowledges the history of broken treaties, dispossession of ancestral lands, and strategies aimed at assimilation, and honors leaders who advocate for indigenous civil rights. And whereas Solano Community College seeks to honor the indigenous peoples who have inhabited this place for generations and endeavors to be a good steward of the land and waterways for future generations. And whereas Solano Community College reaffirms its commitment to recognizing the sovereignty of Native American nations, supporting Native American students, and promoting equity, inclusion, and respect for Native cultures and communities within its educational mission and environment. Therefore, be it resolved that the Solano Community College District Governing Board proclaims November 2024 as Native American Heritage Month. Thank you.
Native American. Yeah. But I'll second that.
Yeah, Native American, but see right here.
We had to fix that typo.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Voice.
Aye.
President Honeychurch.
Aye.
Trustee Kara.
Aye.
Trustee Cargo Reed.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Laura.
Aye.
Trustee Thurston.
Aye.
Trustee Young.
Aye.
Student Trustee Shreya Srivasan.
Aye.
Thank you for passing the resolution. Appreciate it. It's important. Next item is item 13, a board study session. The presenter is Vice President David Williams, and it's entitled Current Initiatives in Academic Affairs.
Thank you, President Honeychurch and members of the board. A lot has been happening in the world of legislation and academics in the state of California for the last couple of years. So I wanted to take this opportunity to just update you on a couple of initiatives that you may have heard about to give you a little bit more detail about those and to tell you what we're doing here at Solano College to meet these interests and to better serve our students. So tonight what I'll cover is AB 1111, which is the common course numbering legislation, AB 928, the Cal GETSI program, and I also want to talk to you a little bit about standardized attendance accounting, which is going to change the way we get funded. Coming soon to the board, I believe in January, you'll be hearing from our Academic Senate President, Josh Scott, on the Academic Senate and the idea of the 10+1, which is the idea of faculty purview over academic and professional matters. So that will be coming in January. So the first thing I want to address is AB 11, the common course numbering. And this is a initiative that we're undergoing right now. As you might know, when a student takes a class at one college, they might have a different course number at a different college. So for instance, a student at Solano College might take college composition, English 1, and then if they want to transfer to another college down south or somewhere else, they might take that English 1 course might be called English 1A at that college, or in the Los Rios district, it might be English 300. There is a common course ID system in the state currently, which is a single reference point for certain courses, but it's not a common numbering system. And so this actually tries to address that so that a student taking a composition course at our college takes the same course name and course title as if they did at another college. And this will help students when they transfer. It'll increase collaboration among faculty across the state. The hope is that students won't take unnecessary courses because they mistakenly didn't know that they've already taken a particular class, or that another college might not accept the class that they took with us. So this, as you might understand, is a tremendous undertaking. So we're phasing this in by the state. So the phase 1 courses that we're looking at, these are the 6 highest enrolled courses across the state. As I mentioned, English composition, 300 to 330,000 students a year take English composition at the California community colleges. The third column on this slide indicates the Cal GETSI, or the transfer category that these courses meet. Argumentative writing and critical thinking is another course. Public speaking, which many students take. Introduction to statistics, American government politics, and psychology. So these, again, are very common courses that students take across the state. Each one of these now is going to have the same name and the same number at every college in California. And these courses will be implemented beginning in fall 25. One of the other things that this legislation has done is it has ensured not only will the student be taking a course with the same name and the same number, but much of the content and the outcomes will be the same from college to college. And so I'm not going to go through this line by line, but there are certain components to each course that have to be identical to the common course. And then there are certain components where a college can enter additional unique information that fits that college and their students' needs. So again, just beyond the number and the name, it's aligning a lot of the content and what students will get from college to college. And this, of course, will require a lot of work on the part of our faculty and on the part of our articulation officer and curriculum specialists and really the whole college. This is just an example of what it will look like. So each course will have a common subject, which just particularly like English, the common subject will be E and GL. At some colleges right now, it's E and G. Political science 1 is one of the courses that's going to be common, and at Solano Community College, the prefix for political science is PLSC. We have to change that to POLS. You saw that earlier on the curriculum items that we submitted tonight. So again, that kind of alignment we're working on to make sure that students know what they're looking for. There is a technical challenge to this. As you can see in the middle of the screen, it includes a 4-letter subject. So POLS for poli-sci, ENGL for English. It also includes a course number that begins with the letter C for common to distinguish it from other courses in our catalog. And it contains a 4-digit number. Now, our classes here at Solano Community Colleges are 3 digits. Math 011, Math 11, English 001. The new common courses will have 4 digits, and then there's a couple of extra spaces available for other designations. The challenge is our ERP system doesn't have that many spaces in the system to enter these this new structure. So there is advocacy across the state for the CIOs, the technology officers across the state to make sure that Banner, which is our system, can adapt to accepting these new numbers. So each college got $913,000 for this project for a couple of years. And this can be used for aligning the course curricula, updating the catalogs, supporting faculty efforts and staff efforts, as well as I mentioned, campus communication and technical modifications to Banner. I want to point out that our curriculum committee has been very engaged in this so far. Our articulation officer, Ashley Lawson, has done a fantastic job. She's been on this. Actually, Dr. Butler was on the statewide committee that came up with this, was responsible for this, I guess, is a nice way to say it. And then our curriculum specialist, Lisa Abbott, also has been working very closely with the faculty. The faculty in those 5 disciplines, there's 6 courses, but it's 5 disciplines that I just mentioned, have been working diligently to make sure that their course has been aligned. So there's a lot of good work that's already going on. There's more to do. Once these courses get implemented, the next round is 25 courses, and then the next round is around 50 courses or so, and we don't know when that's going to end. The next, and so hold your questions, we'll answer them at the end. The next legislation is CalGETC. So CalGETC is a singular transfer pattern for our students moving from the community college into the UC or the CSU. This was the result of work from the Intersegmental Curriculum Committee, which is the committee of the California community colleges, the CSU, and the UC faculty working together to create a singular transfer pattern. And essentially what this means is right now, our students have a choice if they want to transfer of using a CSU transfer pattern, if they want to transfer to a CSU, or what's called the IGETC pattern, which is the Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum, if they want to go to a UC or a CSU, if they don't know what they want to do. So they have to decide. And that can be confusing for students. And sometimes students, when they start, don't know what they want to do, and they don't want to get on the wrong path and then have to change later on. So now, with a singular pathway, with the CalGETC pathway, they don't have to choose. There's a singular pathway that will get them transfer into the 4-year public schools. These are the transfer areas that are part of CalGETC. There's a little bit of changes here. This adds to previous versions, the ethnic studies, which, as you know, was an initiative a couple of years ago. That got added. Language other than English at the bottom, foreign language, that is not a transfer required course, but it is a graduation expectation of UC. The third thing that I want to talk about is standardized attendance accounting. So as you know, with a student-centered funding formula, we get funded basically through 3 pathways. We get funded by the number of students we have. We get funding for the demographics of students. We get additional funding for low-income students. We get additional funding for incarcerated students. We get additional funding for high school students. And then also there is additional funding for success measures. The numbers of graduates that we have, the number of students who take English and math in their first year, who achieve 9 CTE credits. So there's a number of ways that we get funded. This updates Title V to simplify the way we get funded for our enrollment. And this was the result of the Working Learner Task Force, which I was a part of. And then it also aligns with the Vision 2030 Equity and Success goal of our current state chancellor, that really wants to put a focus on making course scheduling easier for our diverse students. So we have a lot of working learners. We have a lot of adults in our community. About 38% of our students are over the age of 25. And so many of these are students who work, and the traditional college Tuesday, Thursday, 9 o'clock class doesn't work for them. So in our current structure, the same class, depending on how it's scheduled, gets funded differently. I'm not going to go too much into detail on this. Just from this chart, I want you to look at the middle column. This is the same course, the same hypothetical course offered in different ways. And currently we get funded one way if it's what's called a weekly attendance class. It meets the same number of hours every week throughout the quarter from the beginning of the semester to the end. We get a different amount of funding if it's a short-term class or offered in the summer. We get a different amount of funding if it's an online class. We get a different amount of funding if it's irregularly scheduled. This is the very same class, but we get paid for 52.5 hours for one, 48.6 for another. But essentially, a class is a class is a class. So if it's a history class or an English class, whether it's offered in the fall or the spring for 17 weeks, or whether it's offered in the summer for 8 weeks, it's the same class, the same learning outcomes, could be the same instructor, and it's very complicated. And so what the new system does is it creates what's called standardized attendance accounting. And so now, based on the idea that a class is a class is a class, the FTES, or the full-time equivalent students that we get funded for, is based on the standardized total hours, which is the number of units in the course outline of record, times the standard hours. And the standard hours right now is 18. Not to get too complicated, but right now our number, it's called the term length multiplier, it's 17.5. So now we multiply by 18. And this is going to be standard across the state. And what this does is this allows colleges to offer flexible courses without fear of losing apportionment dollars because they were creative, because they were trying to meet student need. And so we can offer, I'll just go on to the next slide real quickly. Let me explain this. So here's an example of a course and how we're going to get paid on this course. So regardless of how this course is scheduled, whether it's online, whether it's short-term, whether it's irregularly scheduled, it is based on the number of units in the course outline of record. So this is a physics class that has 3 hours of lecture, which 3 times 18 is 54. So we get paid for 54 hours. The lab is 1 hour. 3 hours of lab equals 1 unit of lab. So that also is 54 hours. And so this course will get paid for 108 total hours, regardless of how it's scheduled. And so we'll still schedule following the rules. We still have to meet the right number of hours, but we can be a little bit more flexible in how we do it and not worry about getting a penalty. This should allow us to offer more short-term classes for students who might not want to spend 17 or 18 weeks to earn a credit. Maybe a class that only meets a couple times a month. Maybe you want to offer a class for working learners a couple of hours on Thursday night and then a bunch of Saturdays for 3 or 4 hours at a time, and they can knock out a course in 4 weeks. Maybe they can knock out a whole certificate in a shorter period of time. More classes can be condensed to less than 1 week for workers who want to come in and learn something very quickly and get back on the job. Other creative scheduling options also to serve working adults. So I'm very proud of my work on this. The chief instructional officers had a big role in this. This is something that we deal with every day. And so I hope that this will help us better serve our students. On this one, the next steps, we need to work with technology services, admissions and records, and finance to determine how we have to change our system in order to report this. So we have to change the way we report. That's our 320 report, which is how we get our attendance. We may have to go in and adjust our course outlines of record. We're going to get some clarification on that because the new calculation depends on every course being 18 weeks. In the course outline, we can schedule it however we want, but essentially the multiplier becomes 18, and we can begin looking at flexible scheduling needs to meet our diverse student body. So those are three of the small things that we're working on here in academic affairs. And even though this is titled Academic Affairs Initiatives, we work very closely and rely on the work of our colleagues in student services, human resources, technology services, and finance. As you can see, all of these have an impact and they reach across the institution. And I just wanted to update you on those, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Vice President Williams. Sorry, a question?
I don't have a question, but thank you. That was very clear for a lot of information.
There was a lot of information.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it may not be a question for you, but is there any updates on Banner coming to terms with the new reality anytime soon? The ERP system catching up with the changes going on?
I will speak for VP Cornelison if he wants to come up. I know he is working very diligently on it. It is a daily struggle. Do you want to address anything, John?
Good evening. So to make a very, very long story short, Ellucian has added the capability to store this new number, but we can't do anything with it. It's like, did I capture that? Where did it go? Where did it go? Is that accurate?
It's a temporary fix.
It's a temporary fix, and a lot of colleges statewide are basically saying this is not going to work. Okay. And so we're waiting. We're waiting. Yeah.
The Chief Instructional Officers Organization, we are having a call with Ellucian on Friday. There will be some technology officers on this. And as John said, we're going to advocate for a permanent solution faster. They have actually promised us a permanent solution, they say by March. They never meet their deadlines. And also, by March, it'll be too late. So we're hoping to encourage them that this is not just, rather than each individual college going to them and advocating, we're trying to, as a group, meet with them to get them to move. And they're meeting with us.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yes, I have a question, and my question has to do with students who, let's say a student is finished the first year of college in Maryland and got 18 units that each semester, 36 units. They transfer to a community college the second year and move out to California and get into the system. So how would those course numbers there refer to what they'd taken at, just at Solano College? The counselors have to go through a lot of work to find out which courses are related to the ones we have here.
You're absolutely correct. That hasn't changed. AB 1111 is a California initiative that actually the community colleges are the only ones technically beholden to it. There are some challenges always with the UC and the CSU playing nicely. CSU has promised to work with us. But that is always a problem with transfer. So courses coming in from the outside, from another state, will still have to be evaluated by a counselor.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think you're okay. I was going to ask, when you talked about the sort of phasing out of these common numbers, I can imagine it being complicated the more the more specific the class is to a certain college. You're trying to come up with commonalities. Can you just share like what's the cap to how big does this grow, and how much room do we still have to offer unique things that aren't standard somewhere?
Yeah, this isn't going to limit what we offer. Just as an example, the COKI, which is the curriculum, the Chancellor's Office curriculum inventory, it's the main housing mechanism for all the courses across California, has 10,000 courses in it. We don't have 10,000, but the whole system across it has 10,000 courses. This is not meant to address every single course in the system. This is meant to address mainly transfer courses, and the most commonly taken ones are the ones we're starting with. I do not know, or we haven't gotten a whole lot of guidance on whether this is going to eventually in the future include some CTE programs, because a lot of students are here for certificates. But remember, many CTE certificates don't have transfer opportunities. And so the common course numbering isn't as important. And again, from this perspective of the student, they're going to go into the catalog and they're going to see courses with different numbering structures. The challenge, one of the initial challenges that we see right now is with Math 11, which is our statistics course, has a new prefix of stat. We don't have a stat prefix. We don't have a stats department, but we have to have a new prefix that says stat. And so students looking for a math class will not find statistics under math. They will have to go to stat. So one of the things that we're going to have to do is figure out how in our college catalog we make it clear to students, if you're looking for that, please go to stat, and vice versa. That seems to be the only one that we're going to have a problem with right now. Again, poli-sci, we're changing the prefix so that doesn't get confusing to students. In the next round of courses, we're going to see things like anthropology and chemistry and biology and other courses like that. So we'll just see how close we are as we move forward. But this is not intended to cover all courses, but the most commonly taken courses right now.
All right, thank you.
So it sounds, I see that there's 913,000 allocated. It seems like having to upgrade and, to have different software and of course the adaptable systems. I mean, is this something that is within the budgets to be able to afford that?
This is the same amount given to every college. So whether we have 300 faculty or 700 faculty, every college got $913,000. We've already had one initial meeting to discuss possible funding necessities through this. As we noted earlier, or we may not have noted this, but Josh Scott, our Senate President, is at the Academic Senate plenary session tonight in Visalia. And they have resolutions every time they have the plenary. It's the gathering of faculty senates. And one of the resolutions is to encourage districts to ensure that they support faculty in this effort. So there is going to be a significant amount of faculty work involved in changing these courses, updating syllabi, updating course outlines of record. The English department, for instance, created the one new course, but that involved sort of a cascading effect with other courses that they offer, because they took the new Common English 1 course took out some content that we had, so they had to move it to another course. So there is a significant amount of work, and we're in discussions right now to see how we're going to spend that and how we can make that those dollars stretch. But I'm confident that we'll make it.
All right, thank you. So thanks, Vice President David Williams, for your presentation. We're going to now move on to information items. It's approval of revision to Board Policy 2005, participation in local decision-making. Dr. Butler?
Yes, this is just the first reading of Board Policy 2005, participation in local decision-making. This policy deals with our college governance and our college participation, college participatory governance structure. The new policy actually follows the Community College League of California's language, so aligning our college board policy language with the league's language and including the stakeholders of faculty, our staff, and our students in that language, as well as alluding to something VP Williams shared, the 10+1 participatory governance role of our academic senate and senate purview over academic and professional matters. So just here for the first reading, it will be back on the agenda for a vote at the November 20th meeting. And as VP Williams mentioned, it will be a study session item looking at the details of the 10+1 and the academic senate in January.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to announcements. Item 15 on the agenda. Are there any announcements? Hearing none, we'll move on to items from the board. Any requests? So now we'll move on to adjournment.
I move that we adjourn our November 6, 2024 Governing Board meeting.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting, but before we do that, I want to say congratulations to our fellow trustee, Trustee Thurston, who's won re-election handily. So all those in favor of, nevertheless, of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned.
We are